Hey everybody, it's Grant, and today we are at the job site of our newest 8 units to our real estate portfolio. So this video is definitely going to share with you the darker side of real estate. Whenever you buy a deal, you think you've got it all panned out, and turns out something goes wrong. On this deal, we actually purchased this property with a fourplex that you've seen in previous videos, as well as the land, as you can see behind me, to build 16 more units. We are building the biggest project we have ever built yet to date, and it's going to be 8 units right here, 2 fourplexes, and we've got the land directly behind us where you're viewing, where I'm looking, that we can build another 8. So this whole project's gonna be absolutely fantastic, and with purchasing unit 2, we now are gonna have 21 rentals sitting right here on this property, and it's gonna be the biggest portion of my portfolio that we have ever done. So when it comes down to it, we purchased this property thinking that everything was taken care of. We purchased this property thinking that it was gonna go perfect. But as you've seen in other videos, it has not been the case. From the HOA issues to the water lines that were not run properly, to the water bill that was so high, this project has been one thing after another. And that's why I think a lot of people like my channel, because it is the actual side of real estate, not just the glory, the glamour, and collecting rent. That's not the way it works. The hard part about this stuff is to persevere through the tough things. So as you can see, the construction has ceased here at our brand new development. When we first bought this property, bringing back up all of those fantastic things, right? We bought a fourplex with the land to build all these extra units that is already concreted, and we were also told that the pads were ready to be built on. So what we ended up doing was we dug 4 individual holes back here on this property, and we made sure that what they had told us was right. Every hole perfect, right down to the clay that you're going to drop the house on. And we were so excited because that saves so much money, not having to do a house pad, not having to pour concrete for parking lots. That allows us to build for unimaginable numbers that I'm going to be sharing with you here on the channel. So to the bad part of this predicament, as you can see, the construction forms have fallen and we are back to the drawing board. And the reason is this right here. The reason we're throwing this video together is because we're fixing this first thing Monday morning, but I've never run into this. It is basically straight up neglect from the previous contractor. Won't name names because I still got a really good deal on the property. But as you can see, I have brick here. I did not buy a property with a home on it. I did buy a property with a home underneath it. What ended up happening was the contractor had a house here, and what they did was they tore the house down, and instead of hauling it off, a dump for your dumpster is $375 a dump. There's not enough brick here that I know of, because there's other 2 sides. Maybe that we're gonna find that out too on future videos on that. But when it comes down to it, the dump price is $375 a load to take a dumpster, those big giant roll-offs. I've got one right here, and I'll put it in the B-roll. But you take that, you fill it up, and you dump it. But instead, why not bury our problems? And just to show you, there's definitely a whole house down here. So we are going to be digging this up. Hopefully I'll have some cool video of this. And also, it does hurt our overall budget for this project. And the reason that I share these things with you is because I want you to be better prepared. It's hard to not make these same mistakes, because when it comes down to it, we had thought we had did everything right. By digging those holes, we figured, oh, look how beautiful this part is. It's gonna be great. But truth be told, it might not add as much as I am thinking. As frustrated as I am, I do think I'm gonna feel a whole lot better come Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday when we have this problem completely resolved and the project back on track. Let me show you some of the house that we found though. So this right here, it's not just a few bricks. It's basically, literally, an entire portion of a house. Let me bring this a little closer for you. Anybody that's a contractor watching, don't do this. Don't be lazy. Your reputation matters more than $375 a load. I did warn you, this is the dirtier side of real estate. And as you can see, the entire job is not what I just showed you. The job has actually been done right. That's what I just don't get. I don't get it. Why? Why do 90% of the things right and then just destroy the last 10%? Why just say, well, we almost did a good job? This is what I don't understand about contractors and house flippers. Why not make sure the details are done? The little things in real estate don't mean a lot. They mean absolutely everything. So understand this. If you're an aspiring developer, these videos are for you. If you're a contractor out there trying to figure out a way to start your business, make sure that your reputation is the utmost important. Make sure that the details are the utmost important. Make sure you're upfront with your actual future clients and current clients. Don't do stuff like this, because I will make sure I never spend another dollar with this developer that I bought this from again, unless those dollars are 75 cents or 50 cents on that dollar. As you can see, there are a ton of bricks just smushed into this job. And right here you can see a ton of them there, and of course just mainly this side. So I do suspect that when we rip up this one, there's a lot more of this house underneath here, because there's just not enough right here to have buried an entire house, and they're not just going to bury a wall of a house. It just doesn't make sense. Why would I don't want to spend that extra $375, so I'm going to only haul off 3 of the 4 walls. So I do suspect this side right here to have a ton more of this debris. But the good news is, from really and truly this side over, the job was done correctly. It's just we're going to have to dig up this whole part right here and just going to continue to dig across. And what will end up happening is, hopefully it is not as bad as I am thinking. And truth be told, you know, have a few of these loads hauled off, add a little bit to the budget, and bring in a little bit more clay to fill it back in. And while digging out this buried house, this buried brick home that was literally, the water line was ran through all of these bricks. They literally busted this water line, and we had water going everywhere. We had to get a plumber to go out there with an excavator to emergency find the valve, find the leak, cap it off, because nobody wants a water bill in my city that runs rampant, because they will bill you for it. Another major issue here is the fact that the bricks, once we dug this hole out, once this hole was completely dug out, we found that the bricks most likely go underneath the parking lot area, which is a huge issue, because later on, while you're driving on it and a lot of heavy traffic starts to come on it, it's gonna break down that much easier, because bricks are porous and they'll move over time. It's just terrible. So the bricks are such a major issue and such a future issue that we honestly don't know how much damage is going to be caused later on, as well as the $30,000 hole that we ended up having to dig. That's how much this cost to dig out, to re-put dirt in. And it's just such a mess that we're probably actually going to seek legal action against the seller, because they never disclosed that this was going to be an issue. The reason that that's such a major problem is because you got to realize, if you're the buyer of this property, you don't just have another $30,000 to fix an issue. And if they disclose it, it's fine, because I knew what I was buying. But if they don't tell you and they intentionally buried a house, which 2 witnesses have already told us, including the guy that we actually had to dig it up, he was like, yeah, no, we knew they did this. We did the dirt work. It's just sad. And as you can see here, the hole is finally filled in. And when I tell you, you might be asking yourself, Grant, how is this really $30,000? Well, one, the hole ended up being so deep that no one expected it to be quite so bad. And it took 160 loads of dirt to go back into the hole to make this thing right again. So what an experience. Not a pleasant one, but we did get it handled with a little adversity.